Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. Big show today. We're getting ever closer to the Elimination Chamber now and things are really heating up as well on the road to WrestleMania. So yeah, lots going on. Roman Reigns Goldberg program. Sonya Deville's in a storyline, Ronda Rousey's back, so let's get straight into it. And Sonya Deville was out to kick off SmackDown, and because of the attack on her last week, she wanted to fine Ronda Rousey £100,000 and suspend her. Adam Pearce walked out and asked her to check her email, saying that Mr. McMahon declined her request to suspend Rousey. Vince also asked Deville not to interfere with Naomi's title match against Charlotte tonight, and doing so would jeopardise her job. Naomi came out and said that there were no restrictions about her hurting Sonya and slapped the WWE official before walking out. As a heel and a good heel at that, it was a good start to the show, really. Enjoyed it, really. Before we got New Day versus Los Losarios, Garza and Big E kicked off the match on the show, and Kofi was tagged in early, and Big E got a near fall. Kofi was isolated in the ring, and Humberto was tagged in before Kingston slid out and took Carrillo down on the apron. Garza went sent outside too before Big E helped Kofi hit a dive in a rope. Back on the blue brand after the break, Big E got a belly space suplex before Kofi came in with an axe handle and hit Garza, tossing him outside. Kofi and Big E then hit their combined finisher on Humberto in the corner, but Garza broke up. Kofi reversed the move from Korea and sent him outside before Garza rolled him up for a sudden pinfall. Did not see this coming. I mean, it's a great win for Los Cesaro, so that gets a 7 out of 10, but come on, man. New Day can't be losing to underdeveloped teams like that. Before the Usos attacked the Viking Raiders and taunted them backstage as the show continued, Roman Reigns was then having an interview backstage. Michael Cole was conducting it and said that if he was in a WWCW, the company would be still there. Cole talked about Goldberg's win over Lesnar, and Reigns said it was old news. Reigns added that 2 years ago at WrestleMania, Goldberg might have had a chance, but now Roman was about to smash the Hall of Famer, ending his career. And yeah, by the sounds of the rumours, that may be true. But yeah, decent Roman Reigns promo as always. Before we got Aaliyah versus Natalya. Natalya had the early advantage with a few near falls before Aaliyah came back in with a headlock. Aaliyah got some big moves in before the Queen of Hearts came out with Mission Jive, but Aaliyah then took Natty down on the mat and unloaded on her. Natalya tried for a single leg crap, but got the Hearts Eater. Aaliyah got to the roots, but it didn't count. She had no choice but to tap out. I mean, at least Natalya won this week, but Jesus Christ, it's so repetitive. 4 out of 10, and after the match, Natalya was still on the attack, but kept Aaliyah down before Xia came in and chased her off. Sami Zayn was then out next on Smackdown for his Totally Real podcast. After watching a video of Johnny Knoxville destroying some of his merch in the store, he went off into the crowd. Nakamura and Boogs were out to join the show and said that Sami was ducking him. Nakamura made a joke about defeating Sami before Boogs tried to grab the mic, but it was a trap. He got an electric shock and it fell over in the corner. Nakamura went to check on him, but Sami hit the champ with a haluva kick and walked out. I mean, Sami actually going to better of opponent for once, which was good to see. But yeah, this was kind of just an average SmackDown segment with Sami Zayn, really, but it's still enjoyable. Before backstage, Mark Atmos said that he will try and get out of the match with Drew McIntyre by claiming an injury before Baron Corbin took on Cesaro. Cesaro had the early advantage, but Cesaro came back with a vertical suplex and Corbin rolled outside. Corbin tried for a deep six and got a near fall before Cesaro put Corbin up against the barricades at ringside and hit an uppercut before getting a near fall in the ring. Corbin countered the neutralizer and hit the end of the days. I mean, come on, man. I know Corbin's great and good to see him winning, but Cesaro, he deserves better, especially when you compare where he was at last year's WrestleMania, just about to take on Seth Rollins. Before backstage, Mike Atmos was still trying to get out of his match with McIntyre. McIntyre showed out his sword, threatening Moss into accepting the challenge. It was now a false count anywhere match as well. Before Goldberg was doing a similar interview to Reigns, and he was going to make it stick and make sure he wins. Goldberg said that Roman was going to get what he deserves, and after Roman's threats earlier, the Hall of Famer said that there was only one Goldberg, and Roman was in his head. Yeah, decent enough promo. We know Goldberg's a good promo. So yeah, those two promos were good. Before we got Charlotte v Naomi, Charlotte took Naomi to the corner right away before coming back and sending the champ over the ropes for a big dive. Back after a break, Naomi got a near fall off a crossbody. Charlotte then got a submission locked in before Naomi sidestepped and hit a big boot. Naomi got a near fall off the counter as SmackDown continued, and Charlotte came back with a huge backbreaker. Charlotte used the ring post to lock in the stretch before Flair drove Naomi into steel sets before he headed for another break. Back to the match, Naomi tried to make her comeback, got a springboard moonsault before Naomi got a few near falls of her own before Charlotte dodged the rear end and hit the chop block and the natural selection to pick up the win. Sonya Deville got in the ring before Naomi attacked her. Charlotte came back and took her down with a kick before Sonya unloaded on her with kicks. Ronda Rousey then came out and took out Charlotte and Deville before looking for another armbar on Sonya, but Flair dragged her out of the ring as the duo retreated. I wonder if we're saying that for Sonya v Sonya at Elimination Chamber. But yeah, this was interesting. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Decent match and lots of intrigue after the race. Overall this week, Smackdown gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Yeah, wasn't a massive fan of this episode of Smackdown, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of it didn't really stick for me. There's just so much repetitive action, like Natalya versus Aaliyah. I mean, I think everyone's fed up of it now, and several more stuff as well. So yeah, wasn't my favourite episode of Smackdown, it's fair to say. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, thoughts, comments down below. Join us to the link description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel on screen right now, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!